Hey guys, I'm RJ Polano and you're not. And I would be glad if I were you for not being me because it's not easy being me. Let me just tell you something. This is going to be about negotiating everything, but first I have to give you a story. Recently, this guy I was talking to, and he was talking about my success. And he said, man, I'd love to be you. And I looked at him, I said, you know what? I'm not sure you would have sacrificed and gone through all the stuff, all the pain, all the troubles, all the tribulations and trials that I've gone through to be me. You need to just work on being you and be the best you that you can possibly be. You see, we all got different gifts. We all have different strengths. We all have weaknesses. And on that point, hire your weaknesses. Don't do the stuff you don't like, because if you don't like it, you're not going to do it to the best of your ability. Contrarily, if you love what you're doing, if you have passion about it and purpose, you're going to do it to the best of your ability all day, every day, all the time, and you'll lose track of time because you're caught up in the work that you love to do. And there is nothing better than being caught up in the work you love to do. Why? Because it gives us a sense of achievement, a sense of fulfillment. That's where we derive the meaning in our lives from, is how we're able to interact with others and to build value and bring value in their lives. So on that note, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about negotiation today. In the book that I wrote, The Buy-Sell Machine, I have a chapter on negotiate everything. And the thing of it is some people are afraid to open their mouths. They're just afraid to talk. They're afraid to ask for things. Now, my story is I was born the day after Christmas, so I was the youngest kid in school. My parents pushed me ahead. I also developed physically slow. So when I graduated high school, I was only bigger than one kid, and that kid I later found out had polio. What did I do? I developed a mouth. I couldn't compete in some of the sports because I was so young, I was so small, and I wasn't that good. I found out later in life I was a better coach than I was a player. That's another story for another time. The thing of it is you have to build on the things that you're good at, and I learned to use my mouth. Now, when it comes to negotiation, there's some basic premises that are so important, and nobody does it better than the Dale Carnegie people, the Art of Human Relations, or the Human Relations seminar that they put on. It's about 12 weeks, and I did that in the mid-'80s, and it helped me tremendously be comfortable talking to you guys right now, or to be talking in a room full of 10,000 people. It doesn't matter to me. I get more excited when it's like that. And the reason I'm able to do that is because I only talk about things that I know. If I don't know something, hey, let me find out somebody who does, and we'll get that person for you. If you talk about things that you know, then it's very easy to talk about them. So when it comes to real estate, I learned everything I could about real estate and how to meet people's needs and how to develop rapport and all these different things that are so critical to my success, and it's critical to your success, because you have to be able to share in the human experience. You see, when we buy houses, we don't buy them from dogs, we don't buy them from trucks. We have to deal with people. Some people can only deal with animals. They should be veterinarians, okay? But the thing of it is, when you're dealing with people, you've got to meet them where they're at. You've all heard of the golden rule, right? Treat others the way you want to be treated. Completely wrong. Throw the rule out. It doesn't make any sense. It's wrong. You treat people the way they want to be treated, okay? Nothing is more important. You see, even the video guy that's videotaping me right now, his needs are different than mine. If I talk to him about the things that are important to me, they might not be important to him. And that's how it is with sellers. You have to talk first in terms of their needs. You have to have some icebreakers in the conversation. And that's where it comes to. The first and most important thing is developing rapport. You see, people have to trust you if they're going to do business with you. Believe it or not, they have to trust you. And the first thing they have to do is they have to like you, at least a little bit. So if you come off and you can't converse and you're not free-flowing in your conversation, or you talk about yourself, or things that aren't germane to what's important, to what's going on in their lives and the circumstances surrounding their property, you're going to miss the ball. You're going to be that guy with his uniform on, he gets up to the plate, he takes his swing, but you're going to miss 9 times out of 10 because you're thinking about you instead of thinking about them. Nothing is more important. You know, Dale Carnegie, people like to hear their own name. So early on in the conversation, you talk, you get their name, and you use their name in the conversation often. I always do that. And if I'm on the phone, I'm smiling, and that smile comes right through. That gregarious, generous, happy to help you attitude just comes right through the telephone, and especially when you're in front of them. You know, you need to be smiling. It's very important. You need to be happy. There's enough misery in this world. Everybody is surrounded by some kind of misery. Don't believe me? Just ask them, okay? We all got something that bothers us. And people want to be around people that lift their spirits. And in your case, you are lifting their spirits and solving their problem. And their problem is this house, which could be your opportunity. But if you talk in terms of your opportunity, you have no chance of getting it. If you talk in terms of solving their problem, you have a lot of chances for getting it. So what we do, it's the first thing that we do when we talk to people, obviously, is we get their name, we ask them how they found out about us so we can track our system of lead generation to see where our leads are coming from. And then we don't start talking about how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms. Nobody cares at this point. You know, Mrs. Smith, why are you selling a nice house like this? You want to find out right away, early on in the conversation. And when you hear things like, I inherited it, which is one of the best things that you can ever hear because they've got nothing invested in the deal. They're looking for an easy solution sometimes. Or it's divorce, or I'm in housing court, or it's got too many problems with it, or I lost my job, I'm going to live with my parents, I can't afford it, or I'm in foreclosure. You're looking to find the thing, the buzzword, the something that gives you a direction on the way you're going to channel your questions. You see, in this business, in any business, in sales, you have to lead the people with questions. You're the one that's controlling the conversation, not them. You'll get some chain-smoking, coffee-drinking maniac that has nothing to do but chew up 4 hours of your time because they're lonely and they just want somebody to talk to. And if there's enough equity in the deal, I would say that you stay there. But if there's not, bail. Just get right to the point, because some people really are lonely. And unless that's your goal in life is just to make people feel comfortable and make company for them, then do it. But if your phone is ringing off the hook with opportunities, you need to decide quickly if this is an opportunity or if this is something that you're going to be very polite and get off the phone, exit stage left as fast as you can. So as you're going through the questioning process and you're asking them about their circumstances surrounding their property, and you finally think you've unveiled the reason, whatever it was, what I might have just said, or it could be a lot of other reasons, loss of job, loss of husband, kids are bad, whatever. You try to peel a little bit more information. You got the onion, you peel another little leaf of the onion off of it at that point and try to find out their time frames. Because the time frame tells you, it goes right in conjunction with their needs, is how soon they need it done. Well, we're thinking about selling in a year. Son of a gun, what a waste of time. Usually it is, but not always. Okay, because there's a way to deal with that. You try to get an option on the house, or we can buy it now, put some money down, and we'll close it out when you leave in a year if you'd like to know that it's done. I didn't mean to go into a negotiation right now, but that's how I handle stuff like that. I hate to hear a year. I want to hear that they need to sell it tonight by 5 o'clock. That's usually the best thing, or very soon, so that we have this time frame dialed in. So you need to know when you can meet their needs, okay? Very important. 2 top things. Why they're selling, how fast they need to sell. Nothing's more important than that. Then you start to acquire other bits of information about them. And other bits of information would be, how big is the house, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, when was the last time the AC was repaired, what year was it built, how many square foot gross, how many feet under air conditioning, is there a garage, how many car garage, stuff like that. But none of that stuff matters. It doesn't matter a bit if you don't identify their needs and you don't identify their time frame, because none of it counts. If they say, no, you know, we owe $300,000, we know it's only worth $200,000, maybe you can do a short sale, maybe you can't do anything with it at all. But finding that out early in the conversation will direct it. So as you continue to gather information, particular information about the house, any other amenities that you've done, any new improvements, you know, what type of condition is the property in now, and you really want to take good notes on the condition of the property, so when you get there, you might be able to use that against them. If they say the kitchen's been modernized and you go there and it's got the old cabinets but a new countertop and the cabinets are 50 years old, you can use that against them. If you look at the roof and you see that the shingles are peeling back, you can use that against them. And that stuff works all the time. The one thing you want to do is find out their price right away, what they're hoping to get. You know, on your best day, what are you hoping to get for this? And you might say, are you negotiable with that number? You know, if the tax assessment is low, you might say, would you sell it for the tax assessment? Or if they have a mortgage, would you sell it for the mortgage? And often they won't, often they will. But you know what? You never find out unless you ask. And that's why when we talk about negotiations in general, you ask about everything, because everything in life is negotiable. I probably should have put this in the front of this short video, but the thing of it is negotiation is the highest paid business in the world. Okay, and the real trick is this: somebody has something, somebody needs something, you just want to insert yourself in the middle and get paid a fee to move it along. That's really what negotiation is all about. Getting something from somebody and selling it to somebody else that wants it more than those people that had it, and you guys get paid in the middle. So remember that. The first two things: rapport, okay? Finding out you have to develop rapport, find out their needs, find out their time frame. Then you can continue to get more information on the house. Now, often, if somebody tells us what they want for a house, and let's just pretend they don't owe any money on it, we're never going to say that's too much. We might ask, are you negotiable? How much room do you really have? Hey, if I could close it in your time frame, could this work for you? But you never say no to what they're saying at this point. But you might ask, what are you going to do with the money when you get it? And that opens up a whole new avenue of questioning. Some people need it for an operation. They need 30 grand. Okay, you write that down. I need 30 grand for an operation. You know they need 30 grand. That is going to be a condition of the sale. They have to have 30 grand. I've had this happen recently. This is how I know. Well, and I've only done this 3,000 times. No exaggeration. So say, listen, you know, Mrs. Smith, and I'm assuming her name is Mrs. Smith, if I come out there today and we could work something out, would you be ready to sign? Is there any other decision makers, or is it you? Because whenever you go to the house, you have to make sure the decision makers are there. Otherwise, you just have a two-step approach, because now you got to come back when the person that really makes the decisions is there. And usually that's a waste of time. But now that you get there and you get to the house and you know that they need $30,000 on this $180,000 house, that opens up a door of potentially creative finance. You know, if I gave you the $30,000 down, because your house does need some work, as we've just gone through, but I don't want to knock the house. I like your house. Could I give you the rest of it like this? And then you give them a payment plan. I'll owe you $150,000 and I'll pay you $500 or $700 or $1,000 a month until it's paid in full. Now, what you offer there is going to depend on what that house will produce in rent, so that you make a positive cash flow going forward. But when you ask it like that and you write it up the way we write it up, you end up buying houses at no interest rate. And is that important to you guys? Did anybody watch the module on the time value of money? Because if you did, you would see that that is critically important to your financial success, and especially for you young people, because what you have that us older people don't have, technically you have more time to live, more time for your assets to grow, more time for mortgages to pay off. And so by using the wise use of leverage and creating creative financing situations where you get seller-held financing, you can get yourself involved in a lot of deals, a lot of opportunities that will eventually be paid off by your tenants paying the rent. Isn't that why real estate is the best thing that we can buy? I want you to think about that for 1 second. If we all bought a bar of gold, we're all going to pay about the same amount of money. We buy a stock, I think we're paying the same amount of money. Mutual fund, same thing. CD in the bank, same thing. Oil and gas stuff, same thing. But real estate is negotiable. Everything about it is negotiable. The time frame to close, the down payment, the terms of payment, or cash. So that's just a little snippet of what we do with negotiation and why it's so important to you. And if you stay tuned, I'm sure we'll have more stuff on this, or we'll see you live at one of our events. Thank you so much for watching. RJ Polano here for True Investors.